Good morning! This is the Abundance Mindset Podcast. Sit back and relax as we discuss hot topics on how to handle and grow your business, self-development, and how positivity can bring profitability in your life. Here are your hosts, Vinney and Gualter.
Hello, and welcome to a new episode with your host, Vinney Chopra. I'm so excited to have you here as we dive deep into the world of real estate investing, syndications, abundance mindset, and building generational wealth. We are excited to be in the top 1.5% of the real estate podcasts. Got number 11 actually out of top 50 real estate syndication podcasts. Thanks to you. Each episode, we bring powerful insights, expert guests, and actionable strategies to help you take your investing game to the next level. Whether you are a seasoned investor or just getting started, if you love what you hear, please take a moment to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and follow me on social media so that we can never miss an episode. Your support helps us continue sharing valuable content with more people like you. Now let's jump into today's episode. Thank you.
Welcome back, Alchemist. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter, Amarelo, and the great Vinney Chopra on the treadmill today. Vinney, what's got you so motivated?
How are you, Gualter? It's such a pleasure, man. I know it's cold out there, even in Northern California. I said, let me get on the treadmill, get my exercise going, get my blood pumping. And today's topic is an amazing one, isn't it?
Today's topic is so controversial. So many people will hear what we're saying and think these guys are evil or these guys are money grabbing. And I just want to say right up front that everything that we do morally, ethically, and legally, this is Abundance Thursdays. It's about leading with the heart. It's about being in business with the abundance mindset where everybody has to win and win. So it's not just win-win, but also every level has to work. So as we dive into this, Wealth Principle 27 is controversial. It states that you must learn to love dealing with money, with large amounts of money, and the people who have it. And there's a lot of people out there who would say the love of money is evil, and that's not what we're saying.
No.
We're saying learning to love working with large amounts of money and the people who have it. So loving people is the principle. So Vinney, why do so many people hate when we talk about money like this? Why do so many people, like the word love and money, why is it such a dangerous sentence?
I mean, see, the thing is, it all goes to the mindset of scarcity or abundance. As we grow, I had humble beginnings. I remember my dad used to give me 5 rupees a month as in my allowance. 5 rupees.
And for everybody who's listening, a rupee is a sum of money in India, where Vinney grew up. He did not grow up here in America. He grew up in India, came to the country with $7. So yeah, rupees are worth less than pennies. So go
That's on, so true. Way less than pennies at that time even, brother. Wow. So the thing is, we got to shift our mindset to say, ethically, which you and I have really built our businesses in using other people's money, OPM, through syndications, through funds. And that's the right way, because 90% of what we do or 80% of what we do, we give it to investors, sophisticated investors and accredited investors. And that has been life and blood of lots of people. Look at the companies, Google, Microsoft, Meta. Right? Today, everybody's up. Microsoft was up yesterday. Today, guess what? They are using other people's money. That's it.
Large sums of it.
Large millions, trillions of dollars. Their valuation is so high because people have invested in their shares. The price of the share times the number of shares is their capitalization, we call it. So essentially, money is good. And we should be really loving the money if you want to have more of it in your life. Because if you hate it, it's not going to come in your lap. It will not. I'm telling you. I started that 180,000, 14 units, and then from $7 to 180,000, and then to 400 and 500 and $1 billion portfolio. All that was adjusting mind to really see where the money is coming, where it's going. Money is always transitional. It's never stationary. That's what I say. And velocity of money is really big. Velocity of money, people should not put it under their pillow. It's not going to make money. It's not going to make money. It's going to lose money with inflation and everything, right? Value, the value of it and so forth. But key thing is we need to have a mindset of not scarcity, but abundance.
So for anybody who's listening right now, like, why are these guys talking about making large amounts of money? It's because it's the right thing to do. The more money you have, the more impact you can have. We
Yes.
we choose the real estate space, so we either house people on their vacations, or we house people in their later years in life, or we house
Yep.
people in the middle of their
Yep.
lifetimes. And those are the main three categories that we invest in. Some people invest in casinos, so they invest in people's weekends and their fun times.
Yeah.
But this mindset of dealing with large amounts of money, working with large amounts of money, and loving the work, love is something emotional, right? It's also a verb. And a lot of
Yes.
humans go around saying they love things, but if you really listen to the stuff you love, you can find out much better by just looking around at how you treat the things in your life. Do you love yourself? Well, you take care of your body. You love your spouse? Well, you take care of your spouse. You love your kids? You take care of your kids. You love your
Yep.
house? You take care of your house. It's the same thing with your business. Do you love your business? And if you do love your business, then you take care of your business. Do you love your investors? And you take care of your investors. Do you love your staff? Then you take care of them. And I think that the problem is people like to separate investors and staff and their business and almost treat them like a have to, which is probably why money is also a have to in their lives. Because if you treat, I read it from Jensen Cher. I don't know if you've read her books, Vinny, but Jensen Cher wrote the book. I can't remember what the name of the book is, but she's a wonderful author, and she said you're a badass. She wrote the book You're a Badass at Making Money. You're a Badass, and she said this: think of money like a relationship. You said you
Mhm.
don't love that person. How much longer will they be in your life?
I totally agree, brother. You just brought up something called law of attraction and manifestation, which is huge. Rhonda Burns wrote The Secret in 1933. There were other studies done. The key thing is what you really like and feel good about. And you really, like in my companies, we always had several win-win situation. Number one, gold was our residents are gold. That was number one. Because if the residents, tenants, we never say tenants, residents in commercial buildings or hotels or in apartments or storage units, they're gold. Second, people were right behind them, and that is our investors are gold. Our investors have to be gold because
Yeah.
they give us money to do down payments and we have liquidities and all, and we give them returns. Third is our name, Monil staff, team members. They are gold. They are gold, exactly, because they are giving the service to the residents and holding the properties together and making value, add things and all that, and bring cash flows. Fourth one are our teams of people, our vendors, our contractors, our the attorneys and the CPAs. They are gold. That's third one, right there. Fourth one, maybe fourth one. And
Yeah.
then the fifth one is our family. That comes, we come the last, right at the bottom. And if we take care of all of them from the top, everything will work nicely to bring great revenues and profits into your company. That's how I look at it. Serving attitude mind is huge. If we are not serving, then we cannot win the game of money.
So for everybody listening at home, Vinny sends me notes every time we get into this call. He just talked about shifting from the scarcity to abundance. The second note we've got is money is just a tool, not a god. So you can't worship money. You can't you can't love money in the sense that you're thinking it's better than you or better than anybody else. It is literally just a tool to be used. And
Yep.
money is just that. It's designed to be used, and there are ways to use it that are better than others.
Yep.
And we see it all the time, the failures of people's use of money, poor
Yeah.
use of money. And that's where parts of the world just don't do very well, is because people have misused money. It is
So
still just a tool. Vinny, how does a person take money off of, because I know certain people who've made millions and millions used it for as a tool for a time, but then forgot that it's a tool. And there's a concept of holding and hoarding money sometimes that actually slows down its growth, that can take away its ability. How do you, if you've done very well, but you're still scared, how do you make it the tool again? If your skill is no longer available, now you're going to be trusting other people's skill. How do you put it
Well,
to be a tool
the,
again?
the biggest thing is you got to go back to where is the money? Are you saving? Are you investing that money to make you more money? Like we just talked about velocity of money, right? There are so many ways to figure out it. Like today, I'm giving a presentation webinar on to the accredited investors, and we're going to talk about tax savings. We're going to talk about all alternatives that is away from all different things that is happening in this economy. The key thing is you got to learn a little bit more. Just don't give money to anybody just like that. You got to find out who the sponsor is, who's running the ship. I call it the horse and the jockey. Both have to be really strong, their track record, who are at the top principals. And then you could put it in funds, into real estate. Of course, we like it because of the all this tax benefits, oil and gas. You could get 85% right off right away. Hotels, amazing because it's everyday ADR, we call it, right? Every daily rate and so forth. The key thing, and senior tsunami, silver tsunami is a huge one, right? What I would like to say is that go ahead and invest more into your business so that your business grows more. So you're investing it again to grow the money even further, equity, or put it in good savings places. Stock market is up and down with the tariff situation. You got to just be very vigilant what you want to do and keep liquid. Keep liquid. I watch so many YouTube videos every night on stock market and predictions and mag 7, the big companies, that they are like at 25-30% off right now price wise, and as their earnings come, they're going to come back up. But you got to really be vigilant and, find some time to control your money. Don't just spend it. You asked me what happens when people make a lot of money. Sometimes it goes to our head or their head, and they spend frugally, no, not frugally, but extravagant cars and this and that and all those. Key thing is to really be as much even balance. It's hard to do it, but it's good to just keep it for the rainy day, invest and let it grow, and then keep focus.
So powerful. There's so many people in the camp of why do we work? Why do we make this money?
Yeah.
Isn't money supposed to make your life better? And it is, but everybody's got different goals. For some of us investors, we're looking to have 10,000 units that we're impacting. And yes, I want to live a better life, but I'm going to take everything and roll it into the next deal, roll into the next deal, roll
Yeah.
into the next deal, and then take some of that back, which brings us to the third one. Wealthy people are people too. Just because we have more, just because we're doing different things or we're capable of different things, doesn't mean we don't. I think doesn't mean we don't have families. It doesn't mean we don't have needs or our time is
Yes.
valuable or hobbies. Find out about you doing yoga, and I know now about your miracle morning, right? Every day that's we jump on
Totally.
this call during your miracle morning. Like that
So
is
true.
something that so many people do the miracle morning,
So
right?
true. And the thing is, if you want more money in your life, you got to look at the lifestyle of the wealthy and the rich and join clubs and be in the circles, of course. The big thing is they get up and put the pants one leg at a time.
Yeah.
They're regular people, but you got to be really respectful of their time and talk about what's on their mind, not on your mind. You're not there to sell anything. That's how I built all these investors, raised over 200 million dollars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 200 million to buy the real estate because I was listening to them. I was finding out what their goals and risks profiles are, and then sharing the packet of investment. And they would say, Vinny, okay, put me down for 250 or 500 or 100, things like that. So regular people are regular, but actually the wealthy people are even more simpler. Hold
Yeah.
on. The people who are really flamboyant, many times they don't have money in the bank. because they're just showing it off, right? But
Yeah.
the real wealthy people, I read that, Millionaire Next Door book, they said the watch they wear is $49.95 watch from Walmart.
For you, each person who's listening to this right now, and you're really thinking about quality of life, wealth people, they're normal people. I saw a video from Grant Cardone this morning, and he was
Yeah,
saying, look, being wealthy, like being at this level, he said that there's just, it's so lonely. There's nobody who has these problems that I have. Not even my wife can I go to and be like, because she doesn't even know like my
no,
play. And my partners don't have to make the decisions I have to make. It sometimes I have to make decisions there that really the only person I can trust is myself because I'm the only one who's ever been in this scenario before. I as you're going and you're going out throughout your life, as somebody of high net worth, it may make sense for you to reach out to other people of high net worth just to check in with them. Just know that
hmm,
hanging out with other guys and women at your wealth level, it makes a lot of sense to reconnect because
yeah,
it is so lonely. And we've done wonderful at managing it, and we get by, and but it is important to recognize that at the top it is lonely and it is a different kind of lonely. It's not like we just want to hang out and sit around a fire. We want to hang out and talk through some
yeah.
complex things that are in our heads that we're concerned about.
Yeah, so true. You
Number four, yep,
compartmentalize.
we
It's
got to
amazing.
compartmentalize everything.
You got to, because stresses and strain in any business can take you down in spiral and everything. You got to look at face value. You look at where you need help, which direction, and then take action to do that. Totally, I agree with you. And not everything needs to be revealed because ladies, the spouses and better halves, they take it differently, totally differently. For
I think,
being this.
Dorina, your wife would cry if she knew everything you did all day. Would it be good? She'd either cry or she'd hire hitmen, Vinny.
I
Number
know.
four.
Yes.
Number four is make large numbers feel normal. Now, there's exercises to do this. Now, Vinny, when I first started hanging out with you, the first deal you talked about was a $44 million hotel deal. And I remember thinking, wow, like Vinny talks about $44 million the way I'm talking about doing a $250,000 flip. He
So
just, yeah,
true.
I just bought it. I
Yes.
flipped it 2 years later.
But
So, Vinny, how
going
do you,
back 18 years back, brother, I was talking about 10,000, 15,000, 14 units for 180,000, right? We sold it for 380. The early on, my single family homes, we bought them for 65.5 and it went to 300 something, all that, right? So those numbers actually, once you start around those numbers, it's a slow process. Success is not overnight. I say that always. People see, oh, this guy or that girl put a post, and I want to be that person overnight. A lot of people reach me for that. I say, there is no shortcut. There's no shortcut. The biggest thing is if you have money for down payment and closing cost, go ahead and use that to put a kind of like a game together or
yeah.
show some track record. And then after that, you will be able to attract more money from family, friends, the seven circles I talk about, right? Influence circles. But the biggest thing is you got to really start loving the numbers, and slowly those numbers get bigger and bigger.
Vinny, one of the questions that
Yes.
I think is important as we're going down and we're getting into number five, how, before we get there, how do you normalize these larger numbers? How do you make seven-figure numbers, eight-figure numbers feel normal and get yourself comfortable with it? What's an exercise you could give?
It took time. It took time. And I think it all boils down to in real estate, I could share with you, the more you were able to take care of the investors, and then they were happy and they were bringing more of their relatives and friends and neighbors and people at work, that opened up my horizon. And I said, oh my gosh, thanks for meeting with me. And Zoom meetings and other things, and make sure I reply to all their questions and answer everything, right? So actually, it all boils down to increasing your business. When you want to do it, it has to be the buying power. Stock market also, you could do margins, you could do this, options. I don't play options. But the key thing is you got to be able to do something. I lost you there, brother. Is that right? Oh, okay, you're back. Yeah, you're back. I know you had gone out a little bit, but what I was explaining, can you hear me okay?
I hear
Yeah,
you
yeah,
loud
yeah.
and
Okay.
clear. Yes.
So
My
what I was
screen,
saying was the
what you were saying
buying.
was so powerful that my computer literally froze because it was so reactive.
See, the biggest thing is it's the purchasing power of an individual or a team or company. And it all boils down to having that serving attitude. Like we started 18 years back, 70-30 split. 70 goes to our limited partners of the cash flow and the equity gain and everything. And 30 came to the general partners. Then we even, with the model changed to 80-20. 80 goes to the investors, accredited, sophisticated investors. So they were well taken care of. See, that's the thing. Once the investors are happy, they'll tell more people about it. So it's a circle. They gave me 100,000. Next time they gave me 250. Next time they gave me 400. And then some of them kept on putting in every deal because they were making money and all that. So essentially, how you grow your legacy and how you grow your company and the portfolios, like you were asking me how I got comfortable with the numbers, was that I had the buying power where I could bring the offer to my investors, because usually it's 90-day closing, 90 to 120-day closing, and we get the PPM ready, everything else, and then we go out to the investors for soft commitment, hard commitment, all that, right? So that's the key. Once you have the money abundance coming in, then you start looking at bigger and better deals. I went from C minus to C plus, value adds to B minus, then B plus, then A minus, then A. So it's a gradual process,
So for folks who are just jumping in, we're going through the principle 27, learn to fall in love with working with large amounts of money and the people who have it. We're now at the fifth part of this, focus on service, which Vinney just described very well. Going into the sixth part, learn their language and let them talk. You started this conversation with, you just get on the phone with them and you listen to them and you see what they want and then you give it to them. How do you learn a person's language? And what do you mean by wealthy people's language? What is it about us that we speak differently from what a person might talk about normally?
But see, the thing is, wealthy people, accredited investors with net worth of 1 million or more, or 5 or 10 million.
In fact, I got to stop you, Vinney. I think everything you just said is something that accredited, net worth, like all of those are words that we use, right?
We do. Hi friends, this is Vinney Chopra from here in Danville, California. And you might be saying, hey Vinney, what are these over here? You know, I wrote this book a few years back, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. It became top seller. I came from India with $7 in my pocket. It says 500 million. It's going to be 1 billion very soon, very soon. I'm right at about 850, 900 million. And then I'm ready for the next billion. Actually, you will see that happening, 2 billion in this book also. The other book I wrote, which has been a very big positivity, has been my life. Always, I've been married 43 years with 2 children. And the beauty is to be positive, the mindset that can take you to all the places in the world. And that's the book that also became big seller. My third book, Senior Assisted Living, is coming. So do yourself a favor. Go ahead and click the link below to get free copies, audio copies of these books, even printed copies of these books. Printed means digital if you can't afford it. But I would highly recommend for you to get these or go to Amazon.com. Just go to Amazon. I got it in soft cover, in hardcover, in Kindle, in audio, also the Spanish version of this book also. So let's crush it, guys. I know you can be successful. I know you can do the kind of things that you want to do in life and have the streams of income and know how to really, educate yourself so that you could become a strong force in this world in real estate. I know you can. So take that step. Don't just be on the sideline. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your education. And then the biggest thing is you want to be totally focused at the investor's level. And you have to see, ask them questions and build relationship, because nobody will give a dime unless they trust you, unless they feel good about you, unless they feel good about the area you are in, your experience, your track record, and then figuring it out, is this a good deal? Like I said, the horse is the deal. Jockey, you are the GP, along with some other people if there are there. How many are there? Who's going to be on the loan? Who is going to really be managing the asset? All those things, right, in real estate. But it could be applied anywhere. The biggest thing is when you are meeting with the investors, you make a short presentation. What are the pain points that the investors have? What are they looking for? What are they looking for? Biggest thing is their preservation of capital, their growth of capital, and then tax savings, tax benefits. And then the fourth one definitely is, would I get my money back, and when, and how are the assumptions? Why you are so fired about this deal for me to put my 50,000 or 100 or 200,000 in it? So by giving them all the reasons, investors don't make a decision right away. They don't. It's the small decisions they make. And I always have a feeling, I tell them I'll be covering quite a few things. Is it okay if I can record our presentation? Then I'll give it back to you, because your spouse couldn't join, or you might like to show this to your CPA or to your pastor at church or your best friend or family. That has helped me so much, because I am very authentic in my presentations. And then I would give them the presentation back right after half an hour or so. Then they could go through it again and reinforce, and then ask more questions. See, the idea is to not sell. Idea is to share and let them come into the deal.
Again, the principle we're going through is to learn to love working with large amounts of money and the people who have it. And what Vinny just shared was the language, learning the language of wealth, learning the language of other people, which is to say, here are the concerns. Like, what concerns do people of high net worth have?
Yeah.
And he's right. We're not worried, but we're just looking for our security. And how am I getting it back? Does this advantage me to taxes, or what are the tax implications? What is the likelihood of how do I get paid? What are the risks I'm taking? Who are the players? What is the asset class? Why is this a win? So going into number 7, what you've got here is desensitizing yourself to wealthy environments. Vinny, I had a hard time with this. I used to go to places where rich people would never go. It was like early in my career, I would never go to places a wealthy person might go.
Yeah.
And then later on, I started learning that I had to desensitize myself to go and hang out where wealthier people were going. And now I'm at a place in my life where I don't want to go anywhere except for a place where I know, like, people like my old self will not be there. Because it's just
So
way more
true.
fun when I can go to a place where I know it's going to be, everything's taken care of, everything's okay. There's
True,
no
so
fear
true.
there.
What you're saying is so right. It's the company we keep. Like we always say, we are the sum total of 5 books we read and 5 people we associate with. Well, we want to go and look at wealthy people, and we want to help them. Serving attitude, and then going into the clubs, wealth clubs, charitable clubs, in different meetups where there are high caliber of accredited investors, which is making 200,000 income and or 300 in the household, or have $1 million net worth, not counting their home. So they are the people. What's their demographics? So you find out, are these medical professions, doctors, attorneys, CPAs, what professions can give that kind of income? Engineers, a lot of engineers, directors, entrepreneurs. So then you segregate, and then you go ahead and find out where they get together. and you go there with a service attitude just to let them know this is what your specialty is. And if at all you're interested in diversifying your portfolio, you've got to diversify. You cannot put all the eggs in one basket. And that's the real key. In those clubs, it's hard, early part. But once you become, you will learn so much. You don't talk too much, absorb, and then you throw some, let people know what you do. And by not selling, they will be attracted to you.
It's so valuable. So number 8, so that was number 7. We were looking at
Yeah.
getting around and spending time where the environments are just wealthier. Number 8 is build emotional strength to handle big deals. In
Yeah.
this, Vinny, I'll give my tip for this is
Yeah.
hanging around Vinny Chopra. That's just been enough for me. We just we just got under agreement 536 units in Jackson, Mississippi, and a few months ago we started working on the Cleveland project. It was 378 units.
Yep.
Both, one was a $14 million purchase, the other was a $15 million purchase. Both ARVs over 30 million each. And I know it came from listening to your deals.
Ah.
So, what is a way that you've used, like a tool that you've used to build your emotional strength? Because, like you said, you started with that 2-family, the single family, then the 14 unit. How can somebody, because I know, Vinny, it's been a long time since you've had to do this, but if you were to go all the way back to the beginning, I know for me, it was hanging around you, it was listening to your deals and looking to what you've done. What are other ways to develop that emotional
You
strength to
know,
handle big
I'm
deals?
so glad you're asking me that. I'm introspectively, I'm thinking I've never given underwriting outside my company. Never, ever. Because I feel like when I'm buying $20 million, 30, 40 million, buck stops with me. And the numbers have to be right. And the assumptions have to be right. It's the strength of underwriting. And by the way, anybody who wants that underwriting, just DM me or Brother Gualter. We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you because that will put everything in perspective. Where the residents are, how much they are paying, and all those into Excel worksheets, and it calculates everything. The key thing is it's the underwriting that gave me strength to purchase $3 million deal, $5 million deal, 10 million, 20 million, 64 million, 67 million, all that stuff. Because if the underwriting is right and we know the area is growing, and we know that our assumptions of increase in rent have been met, and rightly so, and everything, then it gives you confidence.
Wow.
Because if we are sold on the deal, and I think I've mentioned it many times, 42 deals I've done, I have closed every single one from letter of intent to closing. Because once the underwriting is sensitive, it's totally taken care of, then you figure out ways to make that deal happen.
Once you've
That's the,
committed to the deal, then it's just how we get there is the details.
yes,
That's
yes.
extra steps.
So,
I'll add to it, Jackson, right? Are with the 80 units. The only thing that I needed in Jackson to confirm whether I was going to buy more was to see if I could fill units and what the rents were going to be, what the
ah,
turns were going to cost. I needed to confirm that turn costs were exactly what I thought they would be. They were. Then I needed to
yes.
confirm that the rents were going to be what I thought they were going to be, and then I needed to confirm that we could fill quickly the way I thought we could. Once we confirmed that in 20, 30 units, it's like this is a worse neighborhood, so
Yeah.
any better neighborhood has to operate like this or better. So my
Or
assumptions are now
better.
solid. Now it's like this is what it has to be. It can't be anything else.
That's so great. You mentioned, I was thinking about 192 units over there in Angleton, Texas, south of Houston. And I started bidding at 7 million or something, and I got it at 8.9 million. Wow. But I sold it at 14, 15 million. So the thing was, it was
That's a
fully
win.
renovated. The builders, brothers, I think they didn't want to sell at a lower price. So I had to come higher, but my underwriting was telling me, Winnie, get it. So I think that's the key I find. You got to be totally driven by the formulas, by the numbers don't lie. That's what I
Right.
say. Don't get carried away with the building from outside or any kind of project from outside. Look inside, look at the numbers, the real numbers, what's happening right now. not the performer numbers, but real numbers and how it's going to increase more rents and more RUB system and everything we talk about, and how to reduce the expenses and all that. So that's what gives you strength. And if you are sold on it as a syndicator, as a fund manager, investors will catch on also. Excitement, enthusiasm, positivity, which I like to say that you got to have that whole edge so that if you're totally sold on it, you should know all the answers to every objection, every question that the investors ask.
That is, you just went through number 10, which is smile through the zeros. So smile
Yes.
through the zeros. But number 9, before we get there, don't just seek money, seek alignment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is such a missed concept. I don't even know if I'm doing it justice when I say don't seek money, seek alignment is so missed in the world at just a
Yeah.
global, national, local level. And I don't even know, Vinny, that I was really good at this until maybe the last 2 or 3 years where I started realizing here's where I want to go. Who wants to go there with me? I'm not going to force anything else on you. That's just where I'm going. Do you, I'll do me.
Sure.
Why is that important when you're working with large amounts of money and the people who have it?
I'm so glad we are talking about it. And you and I did have many conversations because we
A
were trying
lot.
to make millionaires of
Yes.
the people who have 50,000 in their bank account. It will take a
Long time, Vinny.
to take them from there to there. Not that we don't want them to, but are they committed? Or do they really? And do they have what it takes to get to the millionaire status? Then we
Right.
started talking, let's go after entrepreneurs, the homeowners. And now our strategy is to go after, I think there are 24 million people, accredited investors or something in USA. So
Yep.
there are lots of accredited investors. They're hungry. They're looking for people like you and I so that they could sleep at night nicely and then be able to invest the money and get that money back. That's what
Yep.
you and I are talking about, like 10% every year. Hard pref, we call it, or 11 or 12%. I think you do 12%. So that's the key.
I
And
do between 9 and 12.
9 and 12, brother. Excellent, excellent. And now with our hospitality, what we are doing is we're going to give them the depreciation minus so that it's 9, real 9. It's not 9 minus 30%, which is 3% gone. So it's only 6 left for them. Or
Right.
10, it's 7 left for them at the end of the day. So we are
Wow, what a
giving them,
change. This is different from a lot of other deals.
yeah, we have
How
to,
did you come up with that, Vinny? Obviously,
eh,
wait,
Brett,
let me predict I know the answer. You were
yeah.
asking your investors what they wanted.
Exactly. It's their thinking. They are retiring. They want real 10, not the gain or the cash flow of 10, and then they pay 30% tax, 37% if they are in the high bracket. That just brings it down to about 4 notches lower or 3 notches lower. So we are thinking about giving our investors 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, or 10, 11, 12 in our case, real pref, even after they pay taxes, still, aha. So actually that 10, 11, 12 will be equal to like about 13, 15, and 17 or something like
As
that.
if taxes were being paid, like
Yeah,
if you consider the taxes, but this actually wipes out the taxes. And
that's right.
this is the
That's
sort of thing that
yeah.
only comes from a heart-centered, high net worth individual who's had taxes taken out of their income and
Yes,
then says,
yes,
how do I solve this problem? Which
totally.
comes from hanging out with other people who are in the same space. Yeah, it
Ah,
goes back to all of them. Seeking
oh, yeah.
alignment, you've put this on me a lot. I talked about leaving an old partnership, and you said, man, like with the next partnership, make sure you're in true alignment with what you're doing. With the 100
Totally.
millionaires, you're like, okay,
Yes.
Gualter, I like 100 millionaires, but if I'm going to be with you, we're going to do a million millionaires. That's right in alignment with me. That's perfect. So that's seeking alignment. What is a tip that you use? Because we know it's important. I think a lot of people are starting to grasp what that means. Make sure everybody's end goal is the same. How can you identify alignment?
See, the alignment has to be in your values, in your core values, in your vision, in your goals, and where you are at right now and where you are heading. If you want to be a millionaire and you are at 500,000, let's say, net worth, what will it take to take them through investments, side hustles, buying businesses or whatever? And how can they get to that million level? It's much better if the raw material is good, I call it, right? At the base, then you could grow that to the next level and next level through investments. We were just talking, my wife, daughter and I, we have given back millions of dollars as the profits and capital gains and cash flows to our investors.
Some
Millions.
dollars. Yeah.
Right,
A
exactly.
lot of money, Vinny.
Yeah, and a lot of money. So the key thing is we got to be aligned.
Yeah.
We got to be aligned that they are totally, family offices are fully aligned. I'm talking to very large ones and so forth. So you graduate.
Yeah.
As you start building momentum, you graduate to bigger and more people come in your fold. They get to know you more. And then they say, Vinny, hey, I'll give you 7.5 million. I just got commitment. One family only, seven point
Yep.
five million. So it's possible. It's possible.
It really is customer service. I think that this is something I've learned, I would say within the last 6 or 7 years, was that my investors, I like your analogy, right? Because I used to say my investors come first, but I really, the tenants come first, the investors come after
Yes.
that. It is a
Yes.
much more honest analogy because
Yes.
I've always taken care of my tenants first, but I always felt my investors come first. But really, my heart was this: why I do this business with my tenants, but why I borrow is for my investors. I like to pay them a
Yes.
great return.
Yes.
So this last one, number 10, smile through the zeros. You're Vinny Smile Chopra for a reason. Even when we're having bad days, and I have been blessed, and that's in the nicest way possible. I've been blessed to see Vinny have a bad day. And I've been there, and just to see him work himself through it is, I've never seen anything like it. Because
Thank
I know
you.
the work, right? Because I do the same work myself. I learned it from you and the same mentors that you had. Vinny,
Uh,
how do you smile through the zeros, like
you
through
know,
the losses, through the
I
fails? Because
appreciate
they're all
that.
temporary, but
My tail is between whatever. The thing is, you got to smile away, because if you stress out even more with more stresses, it's going to bring you down. The key thing is, every facet of different businesses, you look at it, what's the best thing you can be done to get them out of mind and this and that or trouble, all that. So you got to look at each facet separately, and you got to smile. You got to say, you know what? It's the here. It's on my lap. It's in my hands. And have faith that things will work out. But you got to be really balanced and unemotionally attached, I guess is the word, so that you make decisions the right way to get to the next level, so that you can get out of that bad situation or whatever it is, right? A lot of people are in very deep trouble with the multifamily, as you know, right now. And they are doing their best, the fund managers and the syndicators like that. So we got to keep calm and smile.
stay calm, smile more, pick up
Yes.
Vinny's book, Positivity Brings Profitability. Get
Yes.
on Audible. There's a lot of opportunity right now. If you're an operator who's struggling, please
Oh,
feel free to reach out to us. Both me and Vinny will spend some time with you to inspire you,
totally.
get you back on track. Vinny's a phenomenal operator. I like to think if it wasn't for Vinny still being alive for the next couple decades, I would say I'm the greatest operator on the planet. But Vinny is by
Ah,
far my
ah,
superior. And if you are struggling in one of your deals, please give us a call, especially if
totally.
you got $500 million under management and you're struggling going under.
Sure.
We want to talk to you, make sure
Totally.
anything we can do to connect.
Yeah.
For everybody who's looking to level up, we got 52 Weeks to Wealth is this Saturday, ibuildmillionaires.com. Vinny has a training he's going to do today in, I think, an
Yes.
hour or a
You
few
know,
minutes,
right
Vinny.
now, 10
He's
o'clock.
doing it right now. Vinny, you can go to vinnychopra.com forward
Events.
slash events,
Events. Yeah.
and you can get
Uh-huh.
his accredited investor event where you're going to learn about tax advantages. His event starts literally in 8 minutes. So go now,
Thank you
register.
so much. Thank you. We'll see you. By the way, we are leaving for our vacation again to Spain. So I'll be gone for about 2 weeks, but we'll catch back up. And if there is a way we could do from there, I'll let you know. Sure, brother. Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Cheers. Cheers to your success, your choice. Always work with the best. We'll see you on the next Abundance Thursdays. Videos at 9 o'clock Eastern PST and 12 o'clock EST.
Easy.
See you
Take
next
care,
week.
brother. Take care.
Cheers,
Bye
brother.
bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Yeah. Wow, what an incredible conversation today. I hope you got tons of value from this episode. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and follow me on social media to stay updated on all the things real estate, investing, abundance mindset, and wealth creation. If you're an accredited investor looking for exclusive investment opportunities, be sure to join our elite Monil Investors Club at vinneychopra.com/invest, where we share details of our future projects. Quick disclaimer, we are not selling any securities, and this podcast is strictly for educational and information purposes only. The opinions shared by our guests are their own and should not be considered financial or investment advice. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a financial professional before making any investment decisions. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, keep smiling, keep investing, and keep making a massive impact. God bless you.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Gualter Amarelo. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.